What is going on, everybody? Well, kind of a little shocker. Welcome to Star Wars Rebellion, the official kickoff for the new Star Wars show led by me. I'm Chris Day, and as you guys know, we do not have any Collider After talk happening this week. But if those who don't know, Celebration has begun. So pretty much we are going to talk about Celebration. We're going to cover everything about day one. We're going to give you the entire coverage for Celebration. So let's get started with some stuff going on. Now I'm going to try to get some guests to come on if they can. We'll see what we can do, but we're going to try. So if I can get some guests on to talk about this, I will. I really do want to talk about this, and we're going to discuss everything that happened at day one today for Star Wars Celebration. So I'm going to try to get a guest on in a couple minutes. I know he's going to a movie, but I'm going to try to get David Abrams on. So give me 1 second while we get started up for the show. So while we are waiting for them to come on, let's talk about my overall thoughts. Now, Star Wars Celebration, Star Wars is a big thing in my heart. I love Star Wars, so we want to talk about what did I think of day one of coverage. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was great. We'll talk about some of the panels, but I think some of the panels were really well done. They were really handled well. And I love about Star Wars is that kind of thing where anybody can love Star Wars. You know, anybody can love Star Wars in a nutshell. And pretty much the life of Star Wars is you literally love everything at the same time. So we have so many people who will come on and discuss Star Wars. And that's the point of doing Star Wars Rebellion. I always wanted to do this for a long time. I've been trying to get Matt Beer on, and we do not know if he will come on because he is currently, as we speak, at Celebration, and Matt Beer is going to be my co-host. And this will be on every Tuesday night. So look forward to an episode every Tuesday night. So I'm trying to get a guest on, and he should be here in a few minutes, and we're going to talk about the 40th Celebration panel because it's hard to believe Star Wars is turning 40 years old, and that's a big thing. And next month we'll do a full Star Wars episode on that, discussing 40 years of Star Wars. But while we're waiting for David to come on, I'm trying to get more guests because we're going to talk about this for an hour for Star Wars. So it's a pretty big thing, you know, because it's Star Wars Celebration. And it's in Orlando. I unfortunately did not get to go this year. I just did not have the time. I will be going probably the next time. So for those who don't know, I have a life and I have school. So it's a little difficult. But while we're waiting for him, I mean, it's a pretty good thing. I mean, Star Wars has literally, but this is kind of an important year. This is the night before the Last Jedi panel. So it is kind of weird because this is, you know, technically this is the night before we all gush at The Last Jedi. And there will be a reaction to The Last Jedi trailer for me coming tomorrow. I don't think we'll cover day two tomorrow because I just don't want the time. But we'll be back on Saturday. But while we're waiting, let's discuss the 40th anniversary panel because I think it's something to discuss. Honestly, is the 40th anniversary panel. What was my thoughts on the panel? It was brilliant. It was amazing. Like it was so heartwarming. We'll talk about why it was heartwarming in a second because it was so amazing and it was so unique in its ways. And I loved what this brought. This brought such a unique thing to Star Wars for a 40th celebration. You know, this was such an amazing thing where you saw so many great appearances from Peter Mayhew, Anthony Daniels, the original Star Wars cast, Mark Hamill, Harrison Ford even made a surprise appearance. And the big one, I think the big one was seeing Hayden Christensen, Ian McDiarmid, and I think everybody. But the best thing about this celebration for the 40th thing, Lucas was there, but Carrie Fisher's tribute was so heartwarming. It was amazing. And, you know, sorry, guys. Give me 1 second. And like I was saying, it was so amazing. Carrie Fisher's tribute was so beautiful, and it was so amazing. And it was such an amazing thing to see this and to see more of it. We saw more footage from The Last Jedi, which we haven't seen footage yet, but it was handled very great, and it was very appreciative for the things that it was. It was an honor, and to see that and to be a part and to see this, it was such an amazing thing. And rest in peace, Carrie Fisher, because she lived the emotions. You saw that, and it was a moment that I think we'll all remember. So moving on from that, let's talk about George Lucas. He talked about for a little bit about Star Wars and what it means 40. It's hard to believe that Star Wars is 40 years old. It's hard to believe that because it's hard to believe. It's definitely something to say is when you're literally being on Star Wars and you love Star Wars as much as so many people have, and why they made a thing like Comic-Con with Star Wars. It's hard to say. It's hard to think, wow, this is really happening. This is really, really happening. And it's really awesome at the same time. It's a little scary, but it's Star Wars. It's 40 years old, and it's hard to believe. And we'll talk about next month, but let's talk about a little bit about what the love for Star Wars means for us, because as Star Wars fans, you love Star Wars. I mean, for Star Wars fans, you are devoted to reading the novels and things like that, and that's why we're here on this show. You're reading novels, you're discussing stuff, you're discussing your favorite characters, you're talking about your love for Star Wars. That's what Rebellion is, and it's such an incredible thing to see 40 years gone by, and the love for Star Wars has never gone away, and that's what's the beauty of it. It's never gone away. It's always going to keep coming. It's always going to be that love for Star Wars. No one's ever going to get rid of Star Wars, and no one is ever going to say Star Wars is like life. It's one of the most important things in movies, and no one's ever going to say is that they came and did Star Wars and they loved doing stuff like this. It was such an incredible opportunity to be a part of something like this and to just watch as a kid growing up, loving Star Wars. It's an amazing feeling to see 40 years later, nothing has changed, and nothing has changed about Star Wars. It's still the same thing. It's still the incredible same thing that fans today still talk about. They still love Star Wars, and it's something really cool. And it's also cool to see Warwick Davis, be a part of that and hosting the damn thing. It's like so amazing, and it's a huge thing, and it's a really good opportunity, and it's awesome. It's really cool. And to be a part of that, it's a big thing for me. So let's move on from the 40th anniversary for a second. Let's talk about the Rebels panel. Now, they were discussing some really cool stuff on Star Wars Rebels, for those who don't know. They were discussing very important stuff for Star Wars Rebels. They were discussing the idea of Darth Maul, things like that, which I love. They were discussing. So they were pretty much discussing the future with Season 4. Now, I didn't watch the whole thing on Star Wars Rebels, but we'll get into that. We'll review it more when the time comes. But that was just the gist of the thing. The next thing that was really interesting was I love the Ray Park one, because the Ray Park one was really cool. It was really awesome to see that and to learn more about Ray Park as a martial artist and as a guy who loves this kind of stuff like that. It was a really cool thing. But also the other cool thing that I really enjoyed, it was probably my favorite panel, was the Ian McDiarmid panel, the one where you talk about he talked about his love for Darth Sidious and how important this character, and it's evil like this, and it's such a brilliant character. But that's pretty much the wrap for Star Wars Rebellion. I just wanted to preview day one. Saturday, we're going to have a full discussion on day 2 and day 3 coverage. There really wasn't that much going on today. It was kind of the kickoff for the show. So that's going to do it for us, guys, for the very first episode coverage for Star Wars Celebration. We will be back on Saturday. Tomorrow, I will be doing a Star Wars live reaction for The Last Jedi trailer. So look forward to that. Thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll see you guys on Saturday. May the Force be with you.